Hello everyone. Today we're going to take a look at a prime lens from Panasonic. It's the Lumix G 25mm f1.7. And this may just be the best budget lens for shooting video, particularly indoors. Let's take a look. The Lumix G 25mm f1.7 is an inexpensive prime lens for micro four thirds cameras. At the time of this recording, it's on sale on Amazon for about $150 and usually ranges in the $250 price point. But just what kind of image can we get from a lens at this price point? Now, you should also know that I didn't receive any compensation for this video and I paid for the lens myself. My opinions are my own, and this is not a promotion for Panasonic. So these comparison videos are going to be shot using the Lumix G 25mm f1.7 lens on a Panasonic G7 camera. This view is at 1080p 60 in a well-lit room with video lights and background lighting. In this recording, I'm sitting approximately 30 inches from the camera, and the background's about 10 feet away. So this will give you an idea of the kind of field of view you're going to get on a crop sensor camera shooting in 1080p mode. Now let's compare that to the Canon M200 with a Sigma 16mm lens. So as you can see, the 16mm lens gives a much wider field of view, and the distance is about the same. I tried to have the cameras as close to one another as possible. So this will give you an idea of the difference you can get going down to a lower focal distance. 16mm certainly is a wider shot than 25mm. So depending on the space you're in, 25mm is or isn't a good choice. And now we're back on the Panasonic G7 with the 25mm f1.7 lens. And it's hard to deny the quality of the image. Yes, we do have a much narrower field of view, but that trade-off may be worth it given the image quality for the price. After all, the Sigma 16mm is over $500 at the time of this recording, over 3 times the cost of the Lumix G. Now this recording is being captured with the lens at f1.7 and a 1/120th of a second shutter speed. Now let's take a look when I change the room lighting. I'm going to keep my key and fill lights, but I'm going to reduce the general lighting in the space. And I haven't made any changes to the exposure on the camera, so this is an example of how the Lumix G 25mm f1.7 is able to perform in lower light conditions. You'll notice that the background image behind me still remains clear without any noise, which is a very good level of performance for shooting indoors in a room with low light. Now, if you're enjoying this video or finding it helpful, consider smashing the like button. It helps out the channel and it'll let you know when I have new content coming. And please leave comments below so I understand the types of videos you'd like to see. So now I'm shooting in 4K to show you the crop in on the G7 camera. And so this lens may not be ideal for you if you don't have significant distance between the camera and your subject. Now I wanted to show you what this camera and lens combination would look like if I turn off my fill and key lights. I've just kept my background light on. So as you can see, this combination does require proper lighting on your subject. You can turn up the exposure controls on the camera, but you'll introduce noise into the picture. So the better choice is not to increase the exposure, but to use proper lighting on the subject. And so I wanted to show you a side-by-side comparison of the Panasonic G7 with the Lumix G 25mm f1.7 lens beside the Canon M200 with the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens. Now both cameras are set with an ISO of 200. I have a 1/120th of a second shutter on the Lumix, a 1/100th of a second shutter on the Canon, and both lenses are at wide open aperture. And as you can see, the low light performance of the Lumix G 25mm is excellent with both cameras side by side. So all things considered, if you have a micro four thirds camera and you don't have the Lumix G 25mm f1.7 lens, for $150 on sale, you could be missing out on a great option to add to your kit. The cropped in view on a micro four thirds camera doesn't make this ideal for tight spaces, but if you do have 3 or 4 feet of space between the camera and even up to another 6 feet behind, you may be able to get a really nice clean shot with good bokeh in the background. Now, a Micro Four Thirds camera might not be for everyone, but for about a $700 combination of the G7 with the 25mm f1.7 lens, this combination of performance and image quality is hard to beat. I hope you did find this video interesting and helpful. If you did, consider subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you next time.